my god. Okay. Hi, everybody who watches me on YouTube. That's still a weird concept to me. Why are you doing that? I'm back in Minnesota. I'm here. I'm in my van. I'm not actually living in my van. I'm just in my van at the moment. I'm sitting outside of my dad's house right now because I wanted to film this for you guys, and I didn't want to sit in my own parking lot at my apartment so that people couldn't, I didn't want people walking by and watching me talk to myself, so I'm here. Today I wanted to show you guys how to install a stereo in your car. I know when I bought my van, it came with a pre-installed, it was literally just a radio. There was no Bluetooth, there was no CD player, there was not even a there was not even a there was not even a cassette player. I had previously installed my radios in my past two cars. I had a Corolla and then I had a Hyundai Santa Fe. And the Hyundai Santa Fe, my sister totaled right before I got this van. Before leaving the lot where it was, I asked if I could uninstall the stereo that was in there, and so I took that with me, and I actually ended up installing it in here. The only thing that my van personally didn't have, or I couldn't find, was a kit that fit my van specifically, so I ended up just using the Hyundai Santa Fe kit that I had already had and kind of jimmy rigging it, and I'll show you how I did that. So here's the list of things you're going to need. You're going to need the stereo, you're going to need a kit, you're going to need a harness, you're going to need a flathead screwdriver and a Phillips head screwdriver, and then you are also going to need wire strippers and wire connectors. And those can be like the crimp kind or the screw cap kind. I use the screw cap kind because they're just easier, and I will show you what all of this looks like once I open this up. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take, this is my favorite part, it's so fun, it feels like you're ripping your car apart, but it's actually fine. So in between the gray and the black, you're going to just pry, and it actually just pops out, which just feels really wrong, but it does, I promise. It's meant to do that. Look at that, my whole dashboard comes off. There are sometimes small screws that hold your dashboard faceplate in place. I know I had to Google it the first time to find out where mine specifically were, but in the change drawer, sometimes you pull the whole change drawer out and there's two hidden screws. Just check around. Things that might have to come out, like plugs or whatever, sometimes have to get removed first. Luckily in here, it just pops out and it's fine. This whole thing comes off. My stereo is just sitting in here. Most people's stereos are going to be screwed in on the sides. Okay, so here's mine. This is the actual stereo, and then this is the kit. It originally came with a piece that goes around the front, but when I put that on, it doesn't fit in my situation over here. But so what I did is I took little pieces of metal and just screwed it together so that it stays attached. This is completely jimmy rigged. I just needed a way to keep them nice and together. And then the harness is the main part that you're going to need to get figured out. So these are the pre-existing wires that you're gonna have. These are the ones that originally just plug into the already pre-existing stereo. So these will be here. Once you take off the pre-existing stereo, you're gonna have this, but this is not gonna be compatible with your new stereo. What you're gonna need to do is get a harness, which is all of these fun things. This is what's going to adapt this to your stereo. This end is the one that plugs onto here, connects there. And then this end is the end that plugs into your stereo. And what needs to happen is all of these wires need to get connected so that the power runs through, obviously. All of these wires tend to come not stripped, so they'll look like this. So that's why you're gonna need a wire stripper. You will just take your wire stripper and cut it off. I actually didn't have a wire stripper, so what I did is I took my Swiss Army knife and just kind of cut little dent out of it, and then I stuck in my teeth and I ripped the end off. You gotta do what you gotta do. I was in a parking lot, so I was just stripping wires with my teeth. Once you strip all your wires, these are the screw-on wire connectors that I was talking about. I would say most professional people would probably use the clamp ones. So they're like little tubes that you would put both ends of the wire into, and you would clamp down, but I didn't have the tools for that. And it's probably a more secure connection. I would recommend those if you have the tools for it, but I was sitting in a parking lot, like I said, so I didn't have any of the tools. I didn't want to buy the tools just for this one project, so I just bought these screw-on caps. And so you put the two wires together, you twist the ends of those wires together, and then you just screw the cap on. I've done this for a lot of projects and they've been just fine. What you're gonna end up doing is connecting all the colors to the like colors. You'll see there's some that aren't connected to anything, and that's because I just didn't see any of the same colors. You would say these are two oranges, maybe they go together, but this one has like a white stripe on it, so it's a different one. But they didn't have any of the others, like there was no other just plain orange one on this end of it, so I just didn't connect them. I plugged it in and it worked, so I was like, oh, well, these two must not go together. So sometimes you'll have just wires that don't need a connection, but for the most part, there'll be a black one with a white stripe, and then there'll be a black one with a white stripe on the other one too. So you'll just attach them all, and then you will end up with this nice mess by the end of it. Then you will, like I said, this is so easy. Like, I feel like I should be talking about more, but it's so easy. Like, you connect all the wires, and then you plug this guy back in, grab your stereo, plugs in over here, in the back, and then there's one line here, this guy, that just plugs into the back of your stereo. That doesn't need any new connections. Click on there. This is good, just like, don't forget where things go. What is going on? Okay, I jinxed myself, I said it was easy. I was putting it in at the wrong angle. Okay, so it's in, and this guy's in. And then before you screw anything in, grab your car key, turn on your car. There's lights and there's no radio static. That means it works. So now, you, who has a kit that actually fits their car, you're going to put your stereo back in, and there's gonna be like perfectly placed holes where like screws fit, and it's gonna screw into your car and it'll be nice and stationary. Mine just gets shoved back in there and rests here. And then that's really all it is, and then your whole dashboard kind of just gets pushed back into place, and that's it. That's all it is. You turn on your car and the freaking thing works and you get to play your own music. I just think it's super cool to know how to do things on your own. So, you know, the Geek Squad, when they sold this to me, they were like, oh, so do you need us to install it for you? And I was like, no, I think I'm gonna YouTube it. And they were like, I have no idea how much the Geek Squad charges to do it. I'll probably look it up after this just to find out, but like, even if it's like $15 or something, it's like, that's just one less thing you have to spend money on. And it's a new skill. The reason I'm filming this video is because my dad knew that I already installed this in like 3 different cars. He had to get like a serial number off the back of his Bluetooth stereo, and he was like, can you take my thing apart and find the serial number? And so I did it, and then I was like, I'm gonna share this with my people on the internet, and maybe somebody will find it useful. Plus, it's a great way. I fixed a lot of like knobs and things too, because now I know that I can just rip my dashboard off and then like have no consequences. So, the more you know. Okay, goodbye.